Hello, hello, hello. What is up? What is up? It's your buddy Alertwolf here to bring you another anime review. And this time I'm going to give you a review on Henneko The Hentai Prince and the Stony Cat, Episode 9, The Lucky Prince. Now, a lot happens in this episode. You know, this is the wrap-up to the 100% Girl arc, or the New Girl arc, whatever you want to call it. And you know, partially, excuse me, we get the backstory of Emmy in the beginning, that she was attended like a Catholic school, and she was yelled at by a nun for acting up, and then that's when that bunny, which I had thought she was the bunny from the last episode, to be honest with you. She's not the bunny. She had found the bunny, and then that's how she meets our boy, who was chasing after his friend's bunny. Now, and that's pretty much the opening on how this little story began, is from her point of view. Now, he finds out from his buddy that the bunny went missing, and he goes to the school to try to help find it. He runs into Azuki and asks her for help. Now, throughout this episode, you're gonna notice she's gonna sound a little weird, talk a little weird, and there's a reason for that. But she agrees to help, and said, well, actually, before she even agrees to help, she runs away from him. He follows her. She gets caught by a net, blaming him for being a hentai, like he was going to do something. He's like, this is all you. And then they kind of make up. You know, he finds out that she saw that a kiss, and he's like, well, she's kind of in love with my fake brother, if that makes any sense. And, not me. So, you know, there's that, and she gives off a little clue that the way to save the sparrow is to give it a kiss or something, and then she gets nervous and says a handshake. So they shake on it. Then he tells her about the bunny, and she goes to look. That's when he runs into Emmy and excuse me, Tatsukiko. They end up having a weird swimming race, and then afterwards, she undoes the swim with the swim wish, which gets rid of all their clothes, because the chicks were wearing swimsuits as clothing, so that gets rid of that, and that was pretty funny. Then we get, you know, again, a lot of stuff happened, so I'm gonna try to go through this a little faster, and then we get basically, you know, they talk a little more, and she says that she's going to undo all her wishes, if he comes to the festival and they hang out and meet. He says, can you give back the bunny? And she's like, that was never my wish. And they go, all right. But later that night, they end up finding the bunny. He gets a call from his buddy. He finds the bunny, and that he remembers Emmy, and part of his memory comes back. She also, they hang out. She had told him a story about how she met an older boy, and it's basically the story about them. Yeah, basically, sorry about that. She met an older boy who was nice to her, and that when she had to go to Italy for some business, but on her trip back, that they were going to catch up and still be friends. And that was pretty much the promise, and play with her. And so the next day when he meets up, he goes, you know what, I'm going to help you find this guy. She's like, are you serious? You serious right now? You're going to help me find this? Are you an idiot? This guy's you. And she's like, he's like, well, I do remember meeting somebody and trying to help him. I don't, you know, and then she calls him a pumpkin, gets mad at him, undoes all her wishes, and runs away. They end up going to school, and he sees Tatsukiko, and she's like, I don't trust that chick. And he's like, nah, everything's cool. And then it turns out the school still looks like it's from Italy, Uh, he talks to Steel-san, the captain, and she's like, I'm headed to Italy. This is not one of my wishes. I tried to undo it plenty of times, it just didn't work. But I'm headed there because they say this looks the same, and I'm an ambassador. So she's gonna get to go to school in Italy, which is good for her, I guess. All right. So as things progress, basically he runs into Azuki, and they look up and they find that Emi is sitting on the balcony on the top floor, and it looks like she could fall off because she's just sitting on the balcony swinging her legs out. And so they don't know how she got up there, and so she goes to help, and she's talking weird. She shows him the way up. He climbs up the clock tower. He gets to her. They start talking, and he's like, I'm sorry, I can't remember, I don't know why. And she's like, but there's something else you're forgetting, the girl with the 100% smile. Because the whole time she's saying that somebody gave her the cat eye. And he goes, what girl with the 100% smile? Then he remembers Tasukiko wearing a mask. He's like, what's that? And he looks, and then Azuki comes up with this monologue about the sparrow and the prince, and how the prince and the sparrow went off helping everybody, but nobody helped the sparrow or something. So thus she's like the sparrow. And from the way because another incident resolved itself, from the way she was talking, he realized that she was being possessed by something. Like, that really wasn't her. He asked, and it turns out the cat god had possessed her, and because of her wish to be a new person, a new girl. So there you go. And yeah, so he finds out that the cat god, that basically he made the wish a long time ago that when the captain grew up, she would go to Italy and go to school in Italy. So the cat god used Emi and her wish as a tool. So basically, here's the dilemma he was put into. Emi gets mad because he refers to her as or not he, but the cat god refers to her as a tool, and so she wishes the cat god would just go away, go somewhere. Is the exact words, and the cat god's like, yeah, you prayed in front of me, sure, I'm gonna go away. And then Azuki, she's like glowing blue, and her hair is, because she's full cat god mode. She's like, I'm gonna bounce right now. And she turns to our boy, and she's like, the hentai prince. She's like, listen, it's up to you. You could cancel your wish, but then I'll get rid of Emi. But at least, you won't have to sacrifice this little sparrow again. And so he thinks about it. He's like, I cancel it. And she goes, great. Haha. And so she goes to cancel the wish, and then he pulls her in close. She was floating. He pulls her in right before she gets rid of Emi. He pulls her in, and he's like, he gives her a kiss, and she's like, what are you doing? And it snaps her out of it. And he's like, what? And he gives her another kiss. And then, so with that, things get canceled. Now it's them on track, and Emi yells at him for making out with the chick in front of him, and things are good, and he feels like he's resolved all these issues. And that's pretty much how the episode ends. They wrap up this arc rather nicely. This episode had a lot of info on it. It was pretty funny, and the story was paced very well, even though they had to cram a lot of stuff into this one episode. But I really liked it. I thought it was funny, and it was, again, well paced. So, having said that, I'm going to give this one a 3.5 out of 5. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5. So click it up if you like it, comment if you must, and please, please, please subscribe if you can. And this is your buddy Alert Wolf signing out.